This is a very interesting debate because as one listened to the honourable gentleman, the member for Holborn and St Pancras, one discovered that really the Labour Party had nothing to debate at all, that they accepted my right honourable friends, the Secretary of State's assurances that he would keep the House up to date. They accepted that there would be no disclosure of material that was in any way damaging to the negotiations. Oh, and just to add a cherry on top of the cake that we're all looking forward to eating in due course, they have accepted a date for the implementation of Article 50. So Her Majesty's loyal opposition has reached the point of such loyalty that it's actually having a day's debate to back Her Majesty's government's policy. And I think this is a very interesting way of spending our time, and perhaps it should form a new means of having a consensus across Parliament that we should have the opposition supporting government policy. But you do wonder why they decided to have a day's debate on this, rather than the other things they could have debated purely to support the government. And I think the answer you come to is that actually, last night when the government put down its amendment, it cooked the opposition's goose. Because, Madam Deputy Speaker, what this debate was really all about wasn't the form of words that were used, wasn't even the split infinitive that Her Majesty's opposition put into their initial motion. It was actually about seeking to reject the decision that was made by the British people on the 23rd of June. That is what underlines every bit of this. 1 minute, it is delay. And you have honourable gentlemen officers and honourable ladies, some even on this side, saying we're doing it too fast. We should slow down, we should be a bit more cautious, because it would be so dangerous to do what the British people asked us to do at the pace at which they expected us to do it. Surely that's not wise. So they delay it through applications to the court. And then they come to Parliament. Oh, how wonderful, the joy that suddenly so many members are in favour of parliamentary scrutiny. When I sat in here debating issues sent for debate by the European Scrutiny Committee, were the benches heaving? Time after time the Labour benches were only represented by their front bench spokesman. In the debates in committee put forward by the European Scrutiny Committee, where every member has an entitlement to turn up and be heard, do the debates run for the full 3 hours that they are allotted? Or do people try and get through them in about 10 minutes before they go back to signing their Christmas cards? Parliamentary scrutiny has become the watchword of people who held Parliament in contempt. And they bring it up. Why? Because they condescend to the British people. They think the British people got it wrong, and so I'm honoured to give way.
I thank the honourable gentleman for giving way, and he and I debated this very issue many times during the referendum campaign, and I must say very courteously, but does he not remember what he said so many times, that Parliament should be sovereign? And if Parliament is sovereign, surely we have to scrutinise and vote on the deal.
Parliament is indeed sovereign, and Parliament in its wisdom passed a referendum bill. And my right honourable friend, the Lord President of the Council, said that that was advisory. And just think about that. Who was it supposed to advise? Did Parliament pass a bill to advise itself? Surely not. If it had been to advise Parliament, Parliament would have made the bill automatically effective, because we don't need to advise ourselves on the bills that we should pass. It was clearly an exercise of parliamentary sovereignty to advise the Crown in the exercise of the prerogative. So parliamentary sovereignty has already been expressed and ought to be fulfilled. So those who are appealing now to parliamentary scrutiny are in fact rejecting a bill, an act passed through this House, and worse, they are rejecting our employers, our bosses, our liege lords, the British people, who decided this matter for us. And they use a language, a glorious language of which Lewis Carroll would have been proud, the Humpty Dumpty-esque approach to saying what they really mean. So even in this motion, when it was first brought forward, before the government had managed to corral it effectively into a government motion, they say how much they respect. Respect. The word respect has been changed by the lexicographers. It used to mean that one held in high esteem, in high regard, and believed should be implemented. Now it means condescend to, think ridiculous, think unwise. The word respect has been utterly devalued by those benches opposite, as they feel the British people got it wrong. Let us not use this word respect of the electorate anymore, Madam Deputy Speaker. Let us say obey. for we will obey the British electorate, and yes, indeed, we have a plan. There is a plan set out clearly, and that is that we will leave. And everything else flows from that. Everything else is leather and prunella. That leaving means, as the Prime Minister said, that there is no more superiority of EU law. The European Court of Justice, well, it may advise and it may witter on, but no more will it outrank this House, and that any contribution we make to the European Union will be from our overseas aid budget because it is supporting poor countries. Of course I give way to my honourable friend.
Pray may he continue.
I'm extremely grateful for the extra minute. That is the point, that leaving is everything and the rest of it is subsidiary. It is the ordinary activity of government, which the government does as long as it commands a majority in this House. So the ultimate parliamentary scrutiny, the parliamentary scrutiny that all governments have suffered from, back at least to the 19th century and probably before, is the ability to command a majority in this House. And if a government can do that, it is then quite right to be able to exercise the royal prerogative in the details of negotiation. As the honourable gentleman, my right honourable friend, the member for Dorset West, so rightly put it, if we were to tie down every jot and tittle of what the government was negotiating, we would spend our whole time in the law courts. And that makes government impossible. Madam Deputy Speaker, it is not a man, a plan, a canal, Panama, a wonderful palindrome. It is a lady, a plan, freedom, Brexit. Yeah.